everybody, it's Reckless, and welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall. It's reset day, and that means it is Tier 12 Tuesday, and this is episode 18, where I show you guys all of the best gear that you need to grab from the vendors in order to achieve Tier 12. So what's Tier 12? Well, I put a link to a video in the description that explains Tier 12 in depth, but in short, you want to grab any piece of gear that is 97% or higher for the stats and perks you are looking for. Now, this is Destiny Item Manager. This is what I actually use to look for whatever gear I have. It's Tier 12 equivalent. It only works on armor, artifacts, as well as ghosts. So, I will put a link in the description to this as well. That way you guys can actually check this out. So, we were going to click on vendors, and we are just going to go straight down the list for all the vendors that actually has Tier 12 gear. So starting out with Shiro 4 in the Iron Temple, he does not have any T12 gear. Going down to Commander Zavala, he has one piece of T12 gear, which are Titan Gauntlets. And they have intellect and strength on them, as well as paramuscle armature, impact induction, as well as sniper rifle loader. Moving down to Cade 6, he only has one piece of gear, which is 97% with discipline and strength on it. This has access to assets, heavy lifting, as well as better already. Definitely can get that. Moving down to Ikora Ray. She actually has several pieces of gear, a 98% Warlock chest piece. And this has intellect and strength, as well as auto rifle ammo, sniper rifle ammo, solar burn defense, as well as solar armor, as well as a 97% helmet with intellect and strength. This has inverse shadow, second thoughts, and innervation. Coming down, we're going to skip the weapons real quick to Eris Morn. She does not have any piece of T12 gear, as well as Varix does have a 100% Titan mark with discipline and strength on it, as well as a 98% Titan mark also with discipline and strength on it. Moving down to Future War Cults, we have a 98% Warlock Bond with intellect and discipline, as well as Titan leg armor with intellect and discipline. This leg armor has fusion rifle ammo, machine gun ammo, as well as solar double down. Coming down the list, looking at Dead Orbit, we have a 100% Hunter chest piece with intellect and strength. This has scout rifle ammo, fusion rifle ammo, void recovery, as well as void armor. No other piece of gear that is Tier 12. Coming down to New Monarchy. New Monarchy this week does not have any T12 gear. Gonna skip the Crucible Quartermaster real quick. And looking at Lord Shax, he has a 98% Ghost with intellect and discipline. And that's it. Now, moving down to a wonderful Cryptarch in the Iron Temple. I actually forgot her name. Oh, Tyra Karn. There we go. She has one piece of Tier 12 gear, which is the Memory of Fellwinter, which obviously takes away your super and you get a boost to all your stats and abilities. Plus, you get an extra grenade. So, if you're into that kind of things, by all means, go ahead and grab this. Moving down to the Speaker, we have a couple pieces of gear, or just one actually. A 100% roll on a Warlock Bond with intellect and discipline. And that is it for the actual Tier 12 gear for this week. So if you guys want to grab onto a Year 2 exotic and hold on to it until Zerg comes on Friday, you can re-roll it with glass needles, and then you will be able to actually possibly get a top tier 12 piece of gear out of it. I've re-rolled mine, and I've gotten 98% as well as 100% on gear, so it's definitely a possibility to get that type of roll. So we are actually going to start with the weapons now, and we are going to Future War Cult first. So the first weapon we're going to look at is the Waltz. This week's Waltz has Red Dot, Quick Draw, OEG, high caliber rounds, lightweight, hammer forged, feed of frenzy, as well as rodeo. Now this is an okay roll, definitely not the best. I probably would prefer to see a little bit more stability on pulse rifles like this, over range. That's just me. But this is an okay weapon for PvE. Definitely would have bring this one into PvP. Next weapon we're going to look at is the Wounded. This Wounded has red dot, focus lens, OEG, high caliber rounds, lightweight, perfect balance, triple tap, as well as crowd control. Now this is definitely a good role for a PvE weapon. I probably would use high caliber, triple tap, as well as crowd control, or even the top row is fine. But definitely a good weapon to try to get for PvE. The next piece of weapon we're going to look at is the Wormwood. This week's Wormwood has True Sight, Fast Draw, as well as Quick Draw, high caliber rounds, lightweight, fitted stock, relentless tracker, as well as hidden hand. Now, if you guys don't have a Wormwood yet, or at least a good rolled Wormwood, I probably would go with True Sight, high caliber rounds, fitted stock, and hidden hand. This like whole top row. Definitely makes a good Wormwood for PvP purposes, so by all means go ahead and grab that. So we are actually going to move down to Dead Orbits, and we are going to look at the Extremophile, aka the Extreme Pedophile. And we have MD Reflex, Quick Draw, OEG Rifle Scope, high caliber rounds, Quick Draw, perfect balance, spray and play, as well as hidden hand. Now I definitely would go ahead and grab this. It is definitely a good weapon to have, especially on this top row. So definitely take this out, try to use it in PvP or even PvE, and have a blast with it. Let me know if it actually works out for you pretty good, because I definitely would get this if I were you guys. Next weapon we're going to look at is the Keystone. This week's Keystone has MD Reflex, Focus Lens, OEG, Explosive Rounds, Snapshot, Small Bore, Unflinching, as well as Crowd Control. Now, this is definitely a good PvE weapon. I probably would not bring this into PvP at all, just for the simple fact of you don't have really that much good stability. Yes, Small Bore does help out a little bit, but you want a lot more stability when it comes to scout rifles, in my opinion. Range is great, but if you can't keep that gun stable and on target, then it's not really that good. The next gun we're actually going to be looking at is the Last Ditch. This week's Last Ditch has Smooth Ballistics, Accurized Ballistics, Soft Ballistics, Hand-Loaded, Lightweight, Perfect Balance, Knee Pads, as well as Full Auto. Now, I'm not too fond of this just because it doesn't have aggressive ballistics or rangefinder, but to each his own, and I guess, you know, if you guys want to get this, go ahead, but I probably would hold off on it for this week. So, we are going to go up to the Vanguard weapons. First weapon we're going to look at is the Continental. We have Red Dot, Quick Draw, OEG, Rodeo, Danger Close, Small Bore, Dependent Mag, as well as Counterbalance. Now this is an okay roll on it. It's not like the, you know, go-to roll for this gun, especially not in PvP. But if you guys want to grab this for PvE purposes, by all means go ahead. But for PvP, I probably would hold off on it. Next gun we're going to go looking over is that wonderful laser Parthian shot. We got the Red Dot, Sure Shot, OEG, Secret Round, Life Support, Small Bore, Feather Mag, as well as Third Eye. Now, you probably want to wait on this one as well. It's not really a good roll. I would not get it this week. I probably would wait till next week for a better roll, or even the week after for a better roll. But I probably would hold off on this one for this week. So, Angel's Advocate, you are next. We have Red Dot, Range Lens, OEG, Outlaw, Who's Next, Perfect Balance, Hammer Forged, as well as Reactive Reload. once again, this is a good PvE weapon this week for these roles, and definitely not that good of a PvP weapon, but it's decent. You know, I probably would go something a little bit more aggressive, but that's just me. So we are moving down to the Crucible. First weapon we are going to look at is the 0-Day Dilemma. We have Red Dot, Quick Draw, OEG, Spray and Play, Close and or Personal, Perfect Balance, Armor Piston Rounds, and Glass Half Full. Now this is definitely a decent roll. If I were you guys, I probably would go Red Dot, Close and or Personal, Perfect Balance, as well as Glass Half Full. It's definitely a decent roll. You know, I definitely would at least attempt to try it in PvP, but you know, you guys can let me know how it actually works. Let me know if you guys actually like it this week or not. Next weapon we're going to talk about is the Event Horizon. This Event Horizon has Sightsus, Short Gaze, Taxus, Army of One, Life Support, Quick Draw, Snapshot, as well as Hidden Hand. Now this is definitely a good sniper rifle for PvE and as well as PvP, just for the simple fact that it does have Short Gauge, Snapshot, and Hidden Hand. Makes it a lot easier to quick scope people. So if I were you guys, I definitely would grab this for PvP, and I'd probably most likely would go Army of One. I'm not really too sure about Life Support. You know, Life Support could be good at times, but I'm not really too sure about it. So the next weapon we are going to be going over is Something Wicked. This week, Something Wicked has Aggressive Launch, Soft Launch, Countermass, Grenadier, Last Resort, Quick Draw, Field Scout, as well as Tracking. Decent, you know, just a decent Something Wicked this week. I probably would wait for something like Grenades and Horseshoes, or even Cluster Bombs, and something that gives you a little bit more velocity as well. So I probably would hold off on this Something Wicked. So the very final weapon we will be looking at is the Palindrome. This week's Palindrome has Steady Hand, Sure Shot, Quick Draw, Triple Tap, Spray and Play, Reinforced Barrel, Lightweight, as well as Hidden Hand. Now this is an okay Palindrome. Jesus, you can tell I have all these damn Palindromes. This is an okay Palindrome. I probably would wait till next week to actually see if there's a better roll. Just for the simple fact, Hidden Hand is great. I'm not going to lie about that. However, the other perks are not so good. So I probably would hold off on that, like, for the most part. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the video. Real quick, I would like to know in the comments below if you guys would actually like to see the armor and the weapons separated in 2 different videos. That way it's not as long. Or if you guys would just care to have them both together. And just pretty much continue doing what I'm doing. So, like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, share it if you felt it was helpful, subscribe and turn on your notifications in order to keep up to date with all of my videos. Thank you guys for all of your support. Feedback in the comments definitely helps the channel to grow. I'm Reckless, and remember, own your success, and I will see you guys next time.